Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here. Welcome to my video where I talk about the best and worst films of 2012. Basically how I'm doing this is, it's basically the first list is going to be the best films, the absolute personal favorites, the ones I think you've got to see. The next part is the ones that are definitely worth checking out. And then the last part of the best ones are worth a look. The ones that are kind of like if you get a chance to see them, if they're on TV, that at some point check them out. They're not ones you have to rush out and see. And then the worst. I don't have a ton of worst, but I tried to go through all the things that I saw this year. Now the first one that's the absolute best one, and I have 10 best of movies. The first one, and this one got a lot of negativity. Not many people saw it. It didn't make its money back even close. I really liked it. I really liked the subject of this, and it was Cloud Atlas. And it was directed by the Wachowskis, who did both of the Matrix films, all three of the Matrix films, and the other director was the guy who did Perfume. I really liked the movie. It was basically about all showing the kind of different lives that all these people live, all the different lifetimes. It kind of believes in about past lives and things like that, and kind of was showing how one way they could be like this, and basically like that. And Tom Hanks was one of the main characters. It was basically showing a whole bunch of people, and I really liked too how you didn't even know until the credits who certain people played in it. I really thought that it was a really well done movie. Really loved the concept. It's one of those movies too when after it was over, really affected me for a couple of days. I really was thinking about it. It was really kind of a depressing movie too. I don't know. I just really liked it, and it's too bad that it didn't get any very much positive attention. The next one that I really liked was Moonrise Kingdom, directed by Wes Anderson. Always love his stuff. Always love his camera work. It's always has a real 60s movie, kind of 60s, early 70s kind of vibe to it. This one was about two kids, and one kid was at camp, the other kid was at our house near where he went to Boy Scouts camp, and them kind of sneaking out on their adventure and all the kind of things that were going on, and then the families looking for them. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. The next one, Brave, which was a Disney Pixar one, was very impressed with that one. Really liked the story to it. Just really found myself really liking that one. The other one too that was a really good one this year was Arthur Christmas. Really liked that one a lot. Now I don't remember. I think that might have come out right at the end of 2011. I can't remember though. I know it came out this year. I saw it this year. So sometimes I might mess up a little bit on exactly when the movie came out, but I'm pretty sure I checked. Arthur Christmas though was another really good, one of the best Christmas ones that I've seen in a long time. The next one was a stop motion movie, ParaNorman. Really was impressed with that one. As soon as the movie started, I was like, there's certain movies when you kind of automatically you're into the movie and really love what's going on. And this was about this kid who could see dead people. It was not Sixth Sense though, but kind of these people were more positive in a way, and kind of the things that happened to him. The next one, and I really did like this one, some people didn't care for it, was The Master with Joaquin Phoenix. And, Joaquin Phoenix was absolutely amazing in it. And you could tell that he was really losing his mind doing this thing. And it has a weird opening scene. It was kind of funny. But it was all about kind of cult mentality, and he gets kind of into this group with Philip Seymour Hoffman, and kind of the controlling aspects of things. And kind of people say it's kind of a take on Scientology. Other people don't. The next one is Arbitrage, I think you said. Recently just watched that one with Richard Gere. Really enjoyed that one. And it was basically about Richard Gere and the decision that he makes, and by doing what he does, how it affects things. And he works at this company, and it's going through all these money problems because he made a bad investment, and it's basically getting audited, and he's basically has to get rid of this company, and if he doesn't get rid of the company, he's going to probably end up in jail because he's done some illegal tactics. Same time, he has a girlfriend on the side. They get into an accident, and then what ends up happening with the accident. The next one, which was one of the horror films that I really thought was one of the better ones, very effective and very creepy and a little different. And it was Sinister, about a family that moves into a home, and it's about Ethan Hawke as a writer investigating what had happened about this killer. Guy basically gets there and then starts investigating it, and he finds these tapes in the attic and what ends up happening with that. The next one is a Disney film, Disney Pixar movie, or it might be just Pixar, and it's Wreck-It Ralph, which was another one that was a really, really good one about a guy who, the video game character in an old arcade. It's kind of like in Donkey Kong, and he's kind of like the character that destroys everything, and he's kind of tired of his life and tired of being the bad guy, wants to go out and be the hero. Silver Lining Playbook, so that was a very good one. Just recently saw that one with Bradley Cooper, and I thought that Bradley Cooper did a really good job. Same with the girl from the Hunger Games. Always end up forgetting her, Jennifer. I always end up forgetting her name, especially when I'm doing this and I don't have the names. I sometimes blank. But also, Robert De Niro did a really good job and did an effective cry. Because sometimes people always say stuff about Robert De Niro's crying as kind of comes across as a little comical or a little bit silly. He was really good in this. And the last one that was one that I would say is the absolute must-see is The Life of Pi, and about a family that's moving from India with the whole zoo, and the boat ends up crashing, and the son ends up on the boat with some of the animals, and like how he's surviving out there, and amazingly done film. Now, on to the ones that are definitely worth watching. These are the ones that are, I wouldn't say they're the absolute best, but I really did enjoy them. The first one is Ted, which is the Seth MacFarlane film about the talking bear and the kid who wishes upon a star that he basically doesn't have very many friends, wishes that the bear that he got would come to life, ends up coming to life years later. Him as an adult with his bear and his relationship problems. And the next one is Prometheus. Now, I know a lot of people kind of had mixed feelings about this. It's the prequel to the Alien films. I really thought it was pretty good. Watching it again for a second time, I ended up liking it a lot more. It's one of those kind of movies you kind of need to watch more than once to really pick up on it. And I'm definitely interested in seeing what ends up happening with the sequel to it. The next one, and some people might say, why didn't you say this was the best? I mean, I really, really liked it, but I wouldn't say it's the absolute best, because I really kind of liked the last one a little bit more. And it's The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I really did like the follow-up, the end of the trilogy, but I really loved Heath Ledger and, as the Joker, and I kind of liked what happens in that one a little bit more. But it's almost like a tie between them, though. The next one, and I liked this one a lot. It was Killer Joe, because I really thought Matthew McConaughey in that one really gave a performance that you really have never seen him do. Is this real super serious? It's just not how I've ever seen him before, because you're always kind of used to seeing him as kind of the romantic kind of guy, or the kind of guy who's not really doing too much with his life, and like that kind of stuff, or the surfer dude. Not this kind of a killer, and not that kind of a thing. Next one, the new Amazing Spider-Man film. Really did think that was a pretty good one. I liked the cast in that one. I really liked, what they ended up doing with that one. The next one is Seeking a Friend at the End of the World. That was another really good one about the end of the world. And basically you just sort of know it's the end. Somebody's coming to the earth, and they're going to die in, I think, 2 weeks. And it's Steve Carell and Keira Knightley. And Steve Carell ends up becoming friends with Keira Knightley right near the end. And he wants to go and see this woman that wrote him this letter, and he wants to go and end up finding her. And he hasn't seen her in years, so it's kind of them going to try and find her. And, they're both going on the road together, and the things that happen and things like that. The next one, sorry, I just have to look at this, is To Rome with Love, which is the Woody Allen one. I enjoyed that one a lot. Another one that had kind of mixed opinions, and some people didn't like it. Kind of like, a little bit like that Night in Paris one, people liked a lot more. I like this one a little bit more. The next one is a Daniel Radcliffe film, The Woman in Black. I really liked him in that film. I thought that he did a very good job. But it's another one, though, that some people really, really liked it or they really disliked it. I know it's a remake, which I've not seen the original one. But it's him going to this haunted house and kind of investigating. It's just like a creepy haunted house film. The next one's Jeff Who Lives at Home with Jason Segel. And, you know, kind of sort of a slacker guy who kind of lives at home and not really doing too much with himself. Mom ends up sending him out to go and get to fix one of the shutters, and kind of the adventure and what ends up happening to him with his brother along the way. And the next one is The Hunger Games, starring Jennifer Lawrence. You know, I did not read the books. You know, I enjoyed the film. It was basically about, you know, kind of like Battle Royale, but a little bit different. About, you know, when the kids get to a certain age, they end up having to put their name in this thing. And, you know, whoever gets pulled from the thing ends up having to fight. They're basically, I think they pick they pick a large amount of kids from all these different sectors and things like that. And, you know, have to fight to the death, and only one can live. Also, the next one is American Reunion. You know, I really do think it's worth watching. I did like it. It's not as good as like some of the other American Pies. Like, I really think, you know, the first and third one, in my opinion, are like my favorites. The second one was always kind of like, it was good, but there wasn't too much to it. The next one, and I thought about putting this as the top, but I'm like, it wasn't one I would say everybody has to see, and that's The Cabin in the Woods. About the group of the people that are on a camping, you know, going out camping in the woods, stay in this cabin, and it just sort of turns the whole movie that's like those kind of typical movies upside down, and about kind of like The Truman Show, you know, like that. The next one is The Dictator with Sacha Baron Cohen, and, you know, it wasn't as good as Borat and Bruno, and it wasn't the same kind of movie where it was like done, you know, with real people and kind of getting real reactions and things like that. This was about a dictator that came to America and kind of was a bad guy and kind of had, you know, almost like an Osama bin Laden kind of guy, you know, and he ends up coming there, but they kind of play it comical. And he ends up getting his beard cut off and set free, and then an imposter comes in to try and, you know, do this deal thing. The next one is The Collection, which is the sequel to The Collector. Another one that I recently saw. You know, for horror movies, I thought it was really well done. Very good follow-up to The Collector. This one was about, well, it has an amazing sequence at the beginning with the people at a party all getting killed by this revolving thing, and really well done. And then the one girl ends up being kidnapped by the Collector, and the guy from the first film ends up having to track him down, take the group of people trying to find her to his warehouse, which is full of traps. The next one is another, like a demonic film, The Possession. Really found that one to be a pretty creepy one, about the guy that the girl buys this box from a yard sale, and basically inside is like an evil thing to it, and lets it out, and the girl becomes sort of possessed by it and getting taken over. Some really creepy elements to it, and for a PG-13 movie, it really had some really creepy elements. Next one is Looper, the Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is a looper, and people are sent from the past, you know, sent from the future to the past, and he has to kill them to kind of erase their existence. Really love the scene with the kid from, you know, There Will Be Blood in the beginning of the film. That was a really creepy sequence. The next one, which is the last of the ones that I think are definitely worth watching, is Hitchcock, which is the Alfred Hitchcock, you know, film about his life, and Anthony Hopkins plays him. I thought they did an amazing job on the makeup. I mean, you were kind of looking, going, you know, trying to notice parts of him. I did think the lip looked kind of like weird in a few shots, like, because you could kind of see Anthony Hopkins' lip under it. And that was the only kind of weird thing. Now, these are the ones that I would say are kind of worth a look. I mean, I thought some of these were kind of fun movies. They're not amazing, but they're ones that I think if you get a chance to, if they're on TV or rent them, things like that. The first one is Here Comes the Boom, the Kevin James film. I ended up liking that a lot more. I really liked Henry Winkler in the movie, and it's about a guy who ends up going to MMA to basically try and raise money to help keep Henry Winkler's job because they're cutting the music program, and he can raise, I think it's like 10 grand a fight. So he's doing that to try and win or lose, get enough money so Henry Winkler can keep his job there. The next one is Hyde Park on the Hudson, which is the new Bill Murray one. Didn't absolutely love this one. I really like Bill Murray in the movie. It's not in any way a perfect movie. But, Bill Murray in the movie did a really good job. The next one is The Three Stooges. Another one that, really looking back on it, it's not a great movie, but it's fun. It's kind of like one of those fun films. It's a really good tribute to The Three Stooges. You can never replace The Three Stooges. There's just no way. There's only, The Three Stooges are who The Three Stooges are. Another one that's worth a look is Seven Psychopaths. Looking back on it, I didn't love the movie, but I liked it enough. The Apparition, I was going to think about putting that in the one above it, but I know a lot of people were giving it negativity. I think it's worth a look. I really like the kid from the Harry Potter films in it. House at the End of the Street, another Jennifer Lawrence film. I enjoyed it. It was one I know that was sat on the shelves for a long time and finally came out. And, it's by no means another one that's like perfect in any way. But I thought it was an okay one. The next one is That's My Boy, the Adam Sandler movie. About Adam Sandler, when he's in middle school, ends up getting his teacher pregnant, and sort of a screw-up father to him because he's a kid. And years later, he goes back to see his son, who's very successful, and he needs money for him, otherwise he's going to get put in jail. The next one, Chernobyl Diaries, the found footage film in Chernobyl. No, it's not found footage. It's kind of filmed, documentary style. Someone said it was found footage and confused me and made me think that it's not found footage. The next one is, I think it's King Size was the name, the Nickelodeon movie that they did with Johnny Knoxville was in it. I kind of like that one. And then the next one is Tim and Eric's $1 Billion Movie. I enjoyed that one. I thought it was pretty funny. I always like mall movies. Worth checking out. And then Piranha 3 Double D. I like the water park aspect of it. Now, the ones that I didn't like is the Beneath the Darkness. That one with, not Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid. He was so over the top in that movie. And so, just everything about it was so poorly done. Now this one, a lot of people liked it. I really found myself going, oh my God, some of this movie. And I think it's because I don't really love too many, religious type movies. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And this one just was kind of bugging me. And it was Joyful Noise. I just didn't like what was going on. And I normally like Queen Latifah and everything, but just in this movie, just the whole thing I didn't like. The next one was Medea's Witness Protection. And I like some of the Medea films. This one was just really tough to watch through. Really unfunny in so many places. The next one, this one to me was just in no way fun to watch. And it was kind of ew, some of it, ew. And it was Hope Springs. And it's not a bad movie, but I just had no fun in any way watching what was going on and disgust in this movie. It was yuck, some of it. And the next one was the Reese Witherspoon film, This Means War. That was one that was a tough watch. I just didn't find myself enjoying that. And the last one is the Amanda Seyfried film, Gone. That movie took so many weird choices and weird decisions. Just was I just really dislike that one. But you know me, I don't dislike many movies, so I really had to think of the ones that I really, really kind of just did not like, and that I probably wouldn't watch again. But anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching my best and worst list of the movies of 2012. Tried to talk a little bit about some of them. I had pretty many things to talk about because there was a lot of pretty decent films in 2012. Last year there wasn't as many, so there's a lot more to talk about this year. And I wanted to kind of separate it because I didn't want to leave too many things off the list. Because there are, like I said, there's the ones that I say the absolute best ones, the ones that are, definitely worth watching. And then the other ones that are kind of worth a look if you have the time, if you can rent them. They're on TV and things like that, but they're not ones you have to go right out and see. The worth a look ones are kind of like I would definitely see them as soon as you can. The best ones are like see them right away. They're a must watch. But anyway though, thanks a lot for watching, for subscribing. I'll see you guys later.